last question for today is, was Zappos the first company to sell shoes online? And then what made them so popular?
Well, they definitely weren't the first, but they were the first one to get it right. The real challenge in selling shoes online, and I've sold a lot of footwear online, hundreds of millions of dollars. The biggest challenge is the fear of failure. So you get your shoe, it doesn't fit. What do? Well, Zappos answered that question. Free return, free shipping both ways, 365-day without no questions asked return policy. I mean, that got rid of the fear of failure, and that's where what took it mainstream. So you had early adopters like me that had been buying footwear long before Zappos online. I kind of either knew my size or didn't care. I'd cram my foot in there or whatever. But when Zappos came around, I mean, that was when, hey, you could even buy kids shoes for kids that are changing sizes within the week that it takes to get the shoes. So, no, they did it right. I mean, they had that free second-day shipping there for a long time, free returns, the Ninja customer service people on. I don't think it was their culture. I mean, if you read Delivering Happiness, it was funny, we had this in here. If you read like this much of it, it's great. It talks about how they actually did it, and then there's this much that is a bunch of hocus pocus, and you disagree with me, and this is going to start a good argument, right?
So I disagree with you on the simple premise that it's talking about tactics versus religion, and I don't know, I think Gary Vee comes up with that, but it's talking about tactics versus the fundamentals of a business. The reason they had killer customer service, the reason they had all these things was because the approach they took internally. Susan calling in because her shoe size doesn't fit. If someone picks up the phone and they're incentivized as a call service representative, they're incentivized to get that person off the phone. It's about volume. They're not going to succeed like Zappos did. Zappos incentivized every single person in the business to focus on customer first. So passion, purpose, and profits were their 3 P's that they guided their company by. And I think all of the things that Tony Hsieh implemented, all the things that Zappos implemented internally is what creates an outward-facing company that has success. I mean, Zappos at one point, they ran out of funding. They fired 70% of their staff, and 5 or 6 people on the leadership team worked for 6 months for free. You don't have that. You don't have this company if you don't have a good culture built around it. And I think the good culture enables people who are on the front lines to provide the service. It enables, because 365-day return policy is great, but if you pick up the phone and you say, hey, I need to return these shoes, and someone gives you kind of a bad attitude about it, it doesn't go over as well. So I think that the culture empowered the service and empowered everything that built the company itself.
I don't know. I think if you started a company 6 months before Zappos and had free 365-day return shipping, and you had all the great brands at good prices and 2-day shipping, you don't need a lot of customer service. I think you could outsource that piece of the hocus pocus. We've got this weird company hierarchy where there's no CEO, there's no managers. That's a bunch of crap.
That happened after the acquisition.
No, that was long in there.
Okay, so let's talk about tech products.
Right.
If I have to pick up the phone...
I thought we were talking about shoes.
We're talking about shoes, but we're talking about... I mean, Zappos is much more... I mean, yes, they deliver shoes, but they're much more of a virgin brand than they are we deliver shoes. Think about the customer service. So, like, if you've got an issue...
How much of that is...
But their marketing was the customer service. If they outsourced their call center...
I don't know about that. I think the reason if you have terrible fulfillment and a terrible product, you need fantastic customer service. I'm just arguing that.
But if you have great product, great fulfillment, you shouldn't have a returns problem.
Precisely, and they don't have a returns problem. What I'm saying is the fact that they do 6-hour customer service phone calls with people and try not to get off the phone, it's a great marketing ploy. That's a really bad way to run a business.
It's reallocating marketing dollars into things that you would not consider marketing. Right. I mean, like he talks about in this book about don't go hire a PR agency, do things that are PR notable. So if you're doing great things, people are going to come and talk about it. And you shouldn't... So, like, marketing for the sake of marketing, if you've got a 365-day return policy and that's your marketing ploy, but you don't actually fulfill it, I agree with you in the sense that what they would put towards traditional marketing dollars, they invest in the buildup of a human machine that did their marketing for them. Because the army that Zappos built of happy, satisfied customers did their marketing for them.
Well, yes, and I agree, but the question is what makes you happy and satisfied? I'm beyond happy and satisfied with Zappos. Never returned anything. And if I did, I darn sure wouldn't talk to some customer service rep on the phone. You don't need to, you don't have to. So, it's 6 dozen to one, half dozen of another. But what they nailed, and we can all agree on this, we'll have a group hug after this. But what they nailed is exactly what you hear Sam Altman and Y Combinator talk about. So he says, growth hacks are great. They're fantastic. Growth hack all you want. But the problem is all those eventually run out. You can never get to a size, scope, and a scale just through a growth hack alone. I've done that before. I built a decent sized company through a growth hack alone with a really bad product on the back of it. And, all heck broke loose after the growth hack kind of wore off. But theirs is better than a growth hack. Their growth hack was actual happy customers, regardless of the way they got there, whether it was a 6-hour customer service call with a woman with a cat on her lap, or whether it was the fact that you ordered 97 pairs of shoes and they all showed up within 24 hours and you hitting the buy button and you sent back 48 of them and it was free and you didn't have to go to your UPS store. We can argue that to death, but boy, the word of mouth of a customer of Zappos is unparalleled and should be studied, and rightfully. That's why we spent the longest on this question. So.